losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Hello and welcome to Tile Coach. I'm Isaac Ostrom. Really glad to be here with you today, celebrating a work anniversary. And forgive me, I still have a cold. I sound a little stuffed up, and yeah, I'm a little sick, but I wanted to be here. This is an important day. It's a day that I've had circled on my calendar for a while. 20 years coming up in business. And since you guys have been a part of it, I wanted to share it with you, and I wanted to be here. I haven't had a live stream for a while, and wanted to just get back in touch with you and go over some stuff here that I wanted to share with you. So, yeah, thanks for being here. I got some new live stream software I'm testing out, so please just give me a thumbs up if everything's loud and clear, looking good. I got some Ecamm live software going in my YouTube stuff, so I'm kind of experimenting here. So anyways, so what brought this on is I've kept old records of my business. Thankfully, I have stuff going all the way back to the very beginning. This is my day planner. This is my 2003, and it goes back into the last few months of 2002 as well, when I started my business. So I have record keeping. I have all my old books. I've kept them in files, and as we've moved houses, they've been in attics, they've been to my shop, they've been up in the racks, and it's really cool that I still have this stuff. And I've actually okay, put mic in front of you. Let's put mic right here. Is that any better? So yeah, so I've kept these records, and so I wanted to just share a couple stories with you about the first job that I did, which happened to be on December 9th, 2002. Now, I preface this, I say it's the first job. I did some side work before. I worked with other contractors, and I did side jobs, did some for my parents, did some for my in-laws, those type of things. I don't really count those because, I don't know, it wasn't my business starting, So this job that I did on December 9th was actually a job that the guy got my card from a tile shop that was handing him out. And so it was somebody I didn't know for before, didn't know anything about him. I had to bid against other people. And so this is what I consider the official start of my tile business. And also the entities have changed over the years. I started out as a sole proprietorship and operated that way until maybe 2014, 2015. Then I changed to an S Corp, and now I'm an LLC. But there hasn't been any ownership changes. I've always owned and controlled my business. So yeah, we got 20 years here. So good. Glad the sound is better. So what I'm going to start with, I want to start off with, again, I'm trying this new software here, so bear with me. Let's try this here. Okay, so this is my day planner here. This is December, you can see up in the corner, December 2002. That's in this book right here. And on the 9th, you see the 9th, which happened to be a Monday. That is a gentleman by the name of Noel Vigna. And I did a fireplace for him. And so I remember the job took, it was 4 days. It went from the 9th through the 12th. And I remember I charged him a total of $700 labor and setting materials. So I didn't make a whole lot of money on that, but again, it was my first job. I still remember like the nerves and the butterflies that were going through me leading up to that job, picking up my supplies. I think I had to buy a bunch of new tools. I know I had to get some floating gear. I ended up floating this fireplace. I also have a picture. Let me give you the picture of the fireplace layout. So that's in this yellow book that I have right here, just this yellow notepad, one of the pages. And this is the layout. It was 12 by 12 marble, 12 by 12 Rojo Alicante marble, if you remember that one, kind of a orangish red marble, and had a bunch of detail. Had to cut up a bunch of the marble to make this diamond inlay and borders, a lot of polishing on it. And it's funny, I love looking at this stuff and seeing that, this was something that I charged $700 for. So it's really awesome. I actually reached out to this gentleman a couple months ago because, again, I still have all the records. I still have his phone number in here. So I sent him a text, and he happened to get it. And he was like, he didn't have my number anymore. He's like, who's this? Asking about a fireplace from 20 years ago. I said, oh, this is Isaac. And he goes, oh, yeah, I remember. And he said, we loved that fireplace. Thank you. Great job. And it was really cool that I got to at least, because I wanted to actually go get pictures of it and see it. But he had moved out of the country. He was in Japan now. So anyways, that was really cool to be able to get in touch with him and talk to him about it. So there's a few other things that I want to go over since this was 20 years ago. The next month, which would be January of 2003, something else stood out to me, which is right here. So this is January 2003, and I kept an hourly log in this day planner, and that's how I billed customers. I total up my hours, and some of the stuff was time and materials. This job down here at the end of the month, if you see down here, starting on the 23rd, I took a project in Seattle, Washington, and so I drove up on the 23rd. On the 24th, I worked from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., put in 11 hours on the 24th. I put in 11 hours on the 25th, put in 13 hours on the 26th, 11 on the 27th, then 10.5, then 13.5, then 17 hours on the 30th. I worked from 7 a.m. till midnight. And the 31st, I worked from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for another 13 hours. So in those 8 days, I put in a total of 100 billable hours. And then I ended up driving back from Seattle to Sacramento, where I lived, which was, another 760 miles. So what was interesting about this is I've talked a lot about, business stuff, and I've done some podcasts with other people like Luke Miller on his stuff, and I talk a lot about my business. I get a lot of questions from you guys about business and what what made me successful, what were some good things, what were some bad things that I learned. And one of the things that I haven't touched on enough, I don't think, is the amount of hard work and just grit that it took early on to make it happen. And so when I was looking back at my hourly log, I'm like, I put in 100 hours in 8 days, 2 days of travel, and I was probably charging like $25 an hour or something like that. And, I had forgotten, some of those jobs, and there's a bunch more. I was looking through them and go, man, dude, I was grinding. I was working weekends. I was putting in 80-hour weeks. I was just making it happen. And this is all stuff aside from all the business stuff that I was having to do and learn, like doing my billing, my QuickBooks, my bidding, all of that stuff. That was aside from all of these hours. And so I kind of, it'd been so long since I'd really worked that way that I kind of forgot, and I was attributing success to a lot of different things, which has a lot of truth to it. But I think probably the single greatest factor that can't be replaced in starting a business and being successful is just putting in the hours, putting in the hard work, putting in the dedication, and no matter what, no matter what, not giving up. Even when you want to. I can guarantee on that day, this day here that was this one right here, on that day on January 30th of 2003, I'm up in Seattle, Washington in January. And if you've ever been up there, it's just kind of a dark, dreary, wet place that time of the year. And, those hours leading up to midnight, probably 9, 10, 11, midnight, I was probably ready to just be like, I'm done. This isn't worth it. This is too hard. I just can't make this happen. And, but no matter what, I didn't give up. I saw it through to the end. The next day I got back up at 7 a.m. and put in another 3 hours, finished the job. And that's kind of the mentality that I took, especially in those first, 5-10 years of being in business. It was just, no matter what, I'm going to make this work. No matter how hard I have to work, I am going to do it. And so I just wanted to share that because I think that's probably some of the most helpful advice that I could give to people. And I think a lot of the other things start to fall in place. There's some other stuff that in this calendar that popped up at me too. If you look up, there's a few appointments in here, like on the 7th and the 8th. You see this down on the bottom of the 7th. It says SCOADD 6 p.m. That's the SCOAD. I forgot what it stands for. I think it was South something on. I forgot what it stand for, but basically it was drug and alcohol counseling. So I had these appointments, these outpatient appointments on the 7th and 8th at 6 p.m. And then it looked like it was on the 14th and 15th. So at this time I was finishing up some rehabilitation stuff that I was dealing with from opiate addiction. And so I was kind of cleaning up the mess of the past and dealing with my stuff that I needed to deal with. And so again, these things say a lot, right? Like it says, like, for one, I'm grinding, I'm putting in the hours, I'm doing whatever it takes to get these jobs done. But also I'm taking care of my mental health at the same time, right? I'm getting off of the Vicodin and OxyContin and doing whatever it takes to make that happen, going and getting help. So that's just something else that stood out to me, that there's also things that are first things first, right? Like take care of your mental health, take care of your family, and then you're going to be able to be successful at work. And if those areas aren't addressed beforehand, it doesn't matter really how hard you work because on your job, right? Because you're going to be you're not going to be able to sustain those things are going to crop back up, those issues, those problems, and you're not going to be able to handle it. So I love going back to written stuff, to history stuff that's concrete that I can look at. I also have journals. Maybe someday I'll share journals with you that go back 20 years as well, where they just kind of share my thoughts of where I was, those sleepless nights and stuff where whatever, a lot of it was related to work, doubts with work. And if you're in business for yourself, I could imagine you guys run through that too sometimes, where it's 1 o'clock in the morning and your head's just spinning and you're thinking about a job, or you're thinking about one particular tile that you left up on the wall that you weren't sure if you should have, maybe it was a chip tile or something, and you're like, oh man, I should have pulled that when I had the chance. Now, and those things are run through your head. Anyways, those sleepless nights, what I would do is I have a journal, and I still have the journal, and I still do it. And so that goes way back, and it's neat to be able to go back and read through and see the mindset and see what happened, because our mind kind of can play tricks on us. We can think something about a certain particular era or time in our lives, but I think our mind can kind of we can misremember, we can forget, we can make too big of deal about certain things, or not a big enough deal about certain things. But when we have it written down and it's actual facts, it's really really nice. It's a comforting, concrete feeling that you know exactly where you're at that place. So this has been really helpful, and I just wanted to share it with you. Again, this is a journey that I've been on. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So it's just awesome to spend a Friday here, even though I'm not feeling that good, and be with you. So yeah, I'll start taking some questions, man, because let's just do that. So let's see. Michael Jubinville, congratulations, Isaac. Yeah, Michael is one of my coaching clients who's up in Canada, and he's working on a project for his mom in the upper Michigan area, I believe, Ann Arbor or somewhere up there. And the person who did the bathroom before did it completely wrong, and the roof leaked down into the bathroom, rotted a bunch of stuff out. So we've been working together, and he's also a member of the team forum. If any of you are on the team forum, thank you very much. A great place to learn and get to know you guys, and just help you with your project. And I'm sure other people appreciate it too. A ton of information on there. But yeah, Michael, yeah, thank you very much for that. Congrats. Mr. Coke, thank you for the $2. I'll grab myself a cup of coffee with that. What thin set do you use for floating shower walls? Thin set, huh? Thin set for floating. So do you mean what kind of mud do we use for floating walls? Or do you mean what kind of thin set we use on top of the float? Or do you mean what kind of thin set do we flash the walls, like render the thin walls afterwards? Not sure exactly what you mean by that. Please clarify. Larry Bush, not a fan of the hat. Dolphin fan. Yeah, that was a great game last week. I really, really had fun watching that. That was a lot closer than the score, showed. We kind of beat up you guys at the end. Man, our defense is tough. Our defense is, man, they're fun to watch. The Niners defense right now is fun to watch, man. They just fly around, they hit. They're pretty nasty. Good group. But then we have our rookie third string quarterback who got the job done, right? How cool is that? Mr. Irrelevant, which means he was the very last pick of the 2022 draft, and he was third string at the beginning of the year, and he had to come in and finish the game, and did a heck of a job. That was a lot of fun. So let's see. I like the Dolphins too. I'm a fan of the head coach. What's his name? Dolphins head coach. Anyways, he was a 49ers. He was a Kyle Shanahan disciple, so they do a lot of the same things on offense and stuff. And I just think he's a cool dude. I like his coaching style, his kind of quirkiness. And okay, Mr. Coke, what type of mud? We call it fat mud. For floating our walls, we call it fat mud, which is a 5-to-1 sand, cement, lime mixture. So we call it fat mud. It's very similar to stucco. You can kind of use stucco, pre-mixed stucco interchangeably, but I like to use the lime as opposed to fire clay. Typically, fat mud will either have lime or fire clay in it to give it the stickiness to it, and I like the lime. Seems to do better, dry stronger. UB Furry, didn't realize you were a Niners fan. I've been a Niners fan and I hope you guys don't get bored if they're football. if you're a football fan or not a football fan, you're probably going to hop off of this stream. Hope you don't. Stick around. We will talk about tile, but we got to get the football stuff out of the way. Yes, I am a 49ers fan. My grandfather actually, he was the athletic director at Sierra College here in Rockland, California. And if you remember, the 49ers, if you're from Northern California, their summer training camp used to be at Sierra College in the summertime. And from like the early 80s to the mid 90s, actually, when they won all of their Super Bowls, they were going to their training camp here at Sierra College in Rockland. And so my grandfather was the athletic director, and he kind of coordinated between the 49ers and the grounds there at Sierra College, and or the facilities at Sierra College. And so I got to work there. So I worked in the weight room. I worked a few other odd jobs in the dorms and stuff when I was a kid, from the time I was probably like, I don't know, like 10 years old up to probably 16. I worked every summer at the 49er camp. So that's when, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, all the legends were there, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, diehard Niner fan, and yeah, it's been a good couple years, a lot of exciting stuff. Okay. Will Granger says, Star Tile brought me here. Stop burying the pan substrate in the mud bed. Yeah, we don't do a whole lot of traditional pans anymore, so that's kind of obsolete in what we do. I try not to, I don't talk about it too much because I think most people are going away from the old traditional styles. So like the pre-slope argument that we always used to have, burying your board in the mud argument, all that stuff, we don't have to deal with that anymore because we're doing mostly all sealed systems. There is one of the benefits to doing a traditional waterproofing membrane would be like if you need the pan to weep, like if you got white marble on the pan, those seem to do a lot better with the darkening of the stone issue. The sealed systems like the Curdy and RSS and all those have more trouble with the white marble. You've probably seen it, the white marble stains on the shower pans that look wet in just sections. That's because the water underneath doesn't have anywhere to go. It basically soaks into the stone and then it just sits there. Whereas if you have a weep system, everything can weep and get carried away, and those white marbles tend to dry out faster. But that's really the only benefit that I see of one of those traditional pans. And we stay away from, I just try to stay away from white marble on pans as much as I can, even though it looks really nice. I just don't want to deal with it. And in our area, traditional pans, what we would use was hot mop. We didn't even do the pan liners, which most of you guys do. In California, it's all hot mop. So hot mop is a great method, but it's another scheduling thing that I would have to deal with, and we do mostly residential remodel. So it gets pretty stinky in the house, and it's just like another step that we're having to subcontract out, where if we're doing a shower pan and I do it in RSS or Curdy or whatever, it's like we have all the stuff. I got my Flow Effects drain ready. We mud float it. We put membrane on and we're done. We're not waiting for a hot mop. But in new construction, especially in SoCal, they use a lot of hot mop still, which is, very, very solid. I've never seen a hot mop fail, except for I've had two. One of them which the installer, the contractor, not the hot mopper, didn't put the correct blocking on the bottom of the hot mop. So the hot mop kind of was just flapping, and it got punched and punctured with the tile installer's trowel. It went through right at the bottom. And then also I've seen hot mops fail from glass guys screwing through them, but that's about it. Okay. UB Fury, thank you so much for all you do. You're a great inspiration and gave me the much needed confidence to start my own projects. You even answered my DM. You're awesome. Right on. I'm glad I was able to do that for you. I apologize. There's probably a lot of you out there that I haven't responded to your DMs, and I tried to as much as I can, but thank you for being patient with me. And if I don't answer you, just try me back again. I'd appreciate that. But that's my hope. Even making this video is again, it makes me feel good to inspire others. That's like what keeps me going. That's what keeps me ticking and motivated, and gives me energy and makes me feel good. So that's why I'm making this video, is to help encourage you if you're just starting and you see like where I'm at now with, whatever it is, social media, where my business is, where whatever. And it had to start somewhere. It started somewhere, and it was very doable. I mean, it's I think anybody could do what I did. It just takes a lot of hard work, dedication, humility, learning, and persistence. But even if it's just like EB Fury said, even if it's just doing your own projects, I love being an inspiration for people who do their own projects, because it's very intimidating at first, and you think, whoa, man, can I do this? And it's like, yes, you can. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take some dedication, but you can do it. And so sometimes I know you guys just need a little bit of that inspiration, a little bit of somebody saying, you can do it, and then for you to get going, and then you actually get it done. I get emails almost every day about somebody sending me a picture. Again, on the forum too, it's awesome to see pictures of people that, they started with like nothing, like they tore out their bathroom and then they built it, and it looks professional. I mean, it looks like a tile pro did it. And usually what the difference is it just takes more time than it would take for me to do it. There's probably some stuff, there's probably a little lippage maybe here or there, something, that you guys miss that a pro would not do. But for the most part, it's a really dang good job. And I have a lot of like engineer type people, desk job people that take on their own projects. They want to do them. It's almost like kind of like how maybe somebody would buy an old car to fix up. It's like a project that you're able to get into and geek out on and make it happen. And so seeing those jobs that are, when they're finished, it's incredible. I love seeing that stuff. So yeah, UB Fury, it does as much for me as it does for you. So thank you for sharing. Will Granger says Hydroban is overpriced. Use RedGuard. They're much different products. There's a reason why Hydroban costs more. So and to that point, Hydroban has come out with their own like RedGuard style stuff, which I think they call Hydro Barrier. It's like a baby blue color. And I think they're trying to capture some of that RedGuard market, because Hydroban is very expensive. And so they're like, well, if we're going to lose out, to the lower priced RedGuard, let's just make our own. And basically what it is just a watered down version of their Hydroban. It doesn't have as many solids in it. It has more like just acrylic in it. And so it's what makes Hydroban so expensive is the solids, the body of the Hydroban. It can go on thicker. It's more durable. It's stretchier. All around, just a better product. So if you're looking for cheaper, you can use Latacrete Hydro Barrier. But with something as important as waterproofing, I try to use the best. David, Isaac, I live in Stockton, California. I would love to meet you in person or in your showroom every day. No, I'm not. I'm kind of in and out. But shoot me a message on tilecoach.com. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me, is send me a submission at tilecoach.com. And yeah, maybe we can set something up where you can stop in, and I'd love to chat with you. Ben Porcher asked about tiling pools. Is there anything special that has to happen in places that are constantly wet? I don't think the preparation has to be much different, but keep in mind, it's a total different contract. It's total different method, different contractor's license. So in here in California, a C54 is a tile contractor. The pool contractors, I forgot what maybe somebody else can set what their classification is, but it's different. Like per our state license board, we're not allowed to work on do tile pools. It's a different method. Working outside in general is different. You got the elements. Either right now in Sacramento, we've had, out of the last 2 weeks, we've had probably like 10 days of rain. So the winters can be really wet, and then in the summers it can be really, really hot. I mean, this summer in September, I think it was the hottest I think I've ever witnessed being here. I've lived in this area for over 20 years, and the greater area all my life. But the last 20 years, I've never had a day I think that was hot as it was. And kind of mid-September, it got up to 115 degrees, and it was a heat wave that was probably 3 or 4 days long of above 110. So you're working in those conditions. Is just different. The mortar's set up faster, and then most pool tile installations are floated. Like if they're doing just the waterline tile, they do a mortar bed, and they also have to level up their tiles. So they use surveying tools like a transom or a site level, and they got to make sure the entire pool perimeter is completely level, because water is just a big level, right? So if your grout joints are off, you see it. So everything has to be leveled up perfectly. It has to be floated. And then probably just special thinsets, a lot of highly modified thinset. I think there's probably some preparation in areas like the raised walls where you have like waterfalls and stuff. Because you don't want to have efflorescence, so probably sealing up the work behind you and stuff like that. So it's kind of a whole different thing, and I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. I've tiled one pool in my whole life, and that was when it was slow, like in 2008, and I was just looking for work, probably 2009. I said, yeah, I'll do it, do some research, figure out how to do it. And I said I'd never do it again. So I don't know if you're a homeowner or a tile guy or whatever, but leave the tile work in pools up to the pros, Ben. Let's see. Business owner. I would like the secrets to the last 20 years in business. There's a lot of them. Probably need to be more specific there. Smooth operator, congratulations on 20 years. Thank you very much. And you're welcome for all the help. PBM, congratulations on the success. I watched your first YouTube video. Salute. Yeah, man, that was probably the floating video. 2011, I think. So it's kind of cool, man. I've had a bunch of anniversaries coming up recently. So 20 years in business, and then the 10-year anniversary. So I've had my showroom here for the last 10 years. That's been an anniversary. It was actually December, not quite 10 years because it's coming up, but December 23rd, 2012 is when I got the keys to this showroom here. And that was probably the biggest game changer as far as like, I've shared this with a few people who've asked like, why do you have a showroom? What has it done for you? And it's changed so much. For one, it's made us much more profitable. Our profit margins have been able to be increased quite a bit. And we've also been able to get more jobs with the clients that we really want to work for, because we just have the showroom kind of attracts a certain quality client too. And I've noticed that people are more secure knowing that we have a physical business, a physical place, especially with my wife being involved, that we're adding a lot more value to clients just in like peace of mind stuff. So we've been able to raise our prices and also just get really, really good clients. So having a showroom, and then also we've been able to sell materials, just sell tile to people. Sometimes we don't even do the install, we sell the tile to them. So if you're interested in that part too, I don't know if David, if you're interested, David04, if you're interested in the showroom part of it. But if you are, again, send me a submission, tilecoach.com, and I usually get back to almost all of those messages. So Instagram is a little tougher for me because I just kind of get peppered with messages. But when I get them through tilecoach.com, it shows up in a certain place, and I look there almost every day. So yeah, check it out. All right, how long have we been rolling for? I lose track of time. 36 minutes. So it is Friday. I'm probably going to keep this one a little bit shorter. And I didn't expect a whole lot of people showing up in the live stream here because it's kind of an off time Friday afternoon. It's only 3 o'clock here, so a lot of you guys are still probably at work and stuff. So I really appreciate you guys that have been able to show up here. And we've been hanging out with about 40 to 50 people in here. So yeah, I'll take a couple more questions here. Let's see. Vic Ferrari's Garage, just completed my first and only shower because of you. Thanks. You are very welcome. And it wasn't just because of me, because I have a lot of people that send me those messages too, send me an email and said, because of you. And I'm like, hey man, I'm glad I could be like an inspiration and kind of get you going on it. But the only way to get it done really is through hard work and some talent, right? It does require some talent. Not everybody has it. I've realized that there are some people, unfortunately, that just don't quite have those mechanical skills, or they just don't come as easy to them, and it takes them a lot longer. But when I see a really good job well done, it does take some talent and it does take some hard work. So I'm glad that I could be a part of it. But Vic, I'm sure that was because of your hard work there. Send me some pictures, tilecoach.com. I'd love to see it, Vic. Kim Guinta, congrats. Love to learn from your videos. Quick question on how do you deal with mold when you demo? Do you take precautions as a protocol? As so many people can get really sick from black mold. Kim, I'm kind of from the old school. I take precautions. I mean, we set up negative air systems when we're working in a bathroom to do any demo. And I treat mold I think people focus on mold, and I'm not minimizing it or anything, but there's a lot of things used in construction that are dangerous, I think, when mixed up and put into the air. I don't think it's good to be breathing a lot of stuff. Even silica dust causes silicosis. My great-grandfather died from silicosis. I think paints and drywall, some of the older houses, you get lead. There's a lot of stuff, and I think it's important to try to mitigate the dust, any dust, as much as possible. So yeah, we set up negative airflow, make sure everything's blown out the window and through a filter. We don't want to just be blowing bad stuff out into the neighborhood either. We send it through filters, HEPA filters, and then out the window. And so that's kind of how we deal with it. I'm not in particularly like freaked out about black mold, but I am aware of it and I am very conscious of it for my clients. So I know that there are remediation companies that can come in and help with that. But to be honest, from what I've seen, what remediation companies do, I think we do a better job. I think a lot of that's like what they say, dog and pony show or something, where it's like yeah, they put up the plastic and they might wear like the hazmat suit or something, but what they're really doing isn't any better than what we're doing as far as sealing things up and making sure the particulates aren't getting into the rest of the house. So, yeah, we do take precautions though, but I'm not, if you see me on a video and I see some mold, I'm not going to like freak out and be like, oh, call in the hazmat team. Maybe that's wrong, but Christopher Burrell, I was wondering what, if anything, do you use when tiling a roof? I have a person asking me to build a sauna and would like it the whole room tiled. Thanks. Christopher, do you mean a ceiling or a roof? I think you mean a ceiling. Just clarify that, please. Mr. Koch, you're from Nebraska. Right on. Never been to Nebraska. Probably just a land of big open spaces, I would imagine. Probably not many trees. I picture Nebraska without any trees. I could be wrong though. How long do you warranty, David? How long do you warranty your tile work? For the most part, about 10 years. I mean, if I have a job and it depends. I mean, warranty is a funny word that we use in this business, right? What does warranty mean? Even like the Schluter Laticrete lifetime warranties, what are they warranting? It's a good question to ask, and you should probably read the fine print if you're into that stuff. But warranting things that there's normal wear and tear on stuff, right? Do the people maintain it? Do they clean it? Do they abuse it? I mean, but for something that we do, say I build a shower. If a customer called me and my shower happened to be in their house, and say this is 20 years ago, so one of these people calls me up, and if it's like a leak or something or a defect from something we did, I'm gonna still do what I can to make it right. I try not to give people the idea of warranty. I don't want them calling me back for stuff like cracked grout 15 years later, right? Or caulking that has come out, or stuff like that that's like normal wear and tear or maintenance of a tile installation. But for the most part, like if something goes wrong on a job that I did and it's my fault, I'm gonna make it right. So, also, how many people, like, I could imagine I could go through my old records and books. I'm going to be doing that. I'm probably going to, let me know if you think that would be a cool idea, but like calling up some of these old clients and going and looking. I just did one from back in, I think, 2004, which, was 18 years old. I just did a video on that, of a job that I did, and it was still in great shape. The clients called me back to do just to drill a hole in their countertop for them, and I got to look at my old work, and it's still in great shape. Looked like the day we put it in. So yeah, let me know if you'd like me to do more of that, if you're interested in seeing more of that stuff. But yeah, but there's probably not that good of a chance that I would say it's less than 50-50 that if I call any of these clients that they're going to be in the same house. You get a job that's 15 years old. How many people actually stay in the same house for that long? I mean, there's a good number of them. If they're retired, they're like, I'm not moving anywhere. But if they're younger, most of the time people move. They sell their house and move. So, yeah, I don't know. So I haven't been hit with that many callbacks, but I do have a very, I am visible. I am able to find, if I've done a job for somebody in the last 20 years and they know my name is Isaac Ostrom, all they have to do is Google my name and all of my stuff pops up on the internet and they can get a hold of me, right? So I think, to me, it's not that big of a deal. I haven't had to go back to old jobs and fix stuff that I did wrong. I mean, it's been really, really rare. So I figure you build it to last. And as far as the warranty, I tell people if anything goes wrong that's my fault, I'll come and fix it. But yeah, if you read like Schluter and Latacrete's, their lifetime warranty stuff, it's kind of funny if you read the fine print. Basically, they have a way to get out of everything, and to me it's just a marketing ploy to sell all of their products, right? If Latacrete says, okay, well, it's a lifetime warranty on this shower if you buy the thin set, the grout, the hydroband, the board, the drain, they get to sell a whole package, and you get to call it a lifetime warranty, which really doesn't mean a whole lot. It might mean a lot if you are an installer that does a ton of volume and you're a good client. Then Latacrete's going to want to be like, hey, we're going to take care of Isaac because he buys a ton of our product. We don't want him leaving with a bad taste in his mouth. But if you're just like a handyman, or if you only do a couple showers a year, if you're a homeowner, they're going to just find something wrong with the job that you did, and you're not going to get anything from that warranty anyways. So I think most of you watch my channel for a while know what I think of warranties. So me giving them to people anyways, to me, it just doesn't hold that much weight. What does that actually mean? So anyways. UB Fury, come up to Alaska. I'll take you fishing. Where in Alaska are you? I've been to Homer, Alaska. I did a Homer, Alaska trip about 10 years ago. That was awesome. If you guys have never been to, hi babe. If you guys have never been to Alaska, you should check it out. At least go there once in your life. You think you have an idea of what it's going to be like, but then you actually get there, and it's just man, it's amazing. The mountains are bigger, and we're in a place that's pretty spectacular too, right? We're in Northern California. One thing I learned, and I knew this, we learned this in grade school, but I had forgotten it. California has the highest mountain peak in the lower 48 states, and we have the lowest point and most people know that. Most people know that Death Valley is the lowest point actually in all of North America, not even the lower 48 states. But we have the highest mountain peak. Mount Whitney is higher than any mountain in Colorado, any mountain in Washington, any mountain, in the Cascades or the Rockies. And so what I'm saying is I'm in a state that has some pretty spectacular landscapes, big mountains, oceans, valleys, beaches. We have a ton of different things going on here, but Alaska is a different level, man. The mountains there are just insane. How big everything is, how things grow, how the plants grow. It's just a trip. Okay, so Anchorage. Yeah, I'd love to come up there. Do some fishing. What's the main river there in Soldotna? Kenai River. Excuse me. Have any of you guys got this stupid cold that's going around? Man, it's nasty. I came down with it like last Sunday and just felt like garbage last week, like bad. I say bad, ultimate man cold, right? Any cold we get's like the worst cold, right? But it seems to just be hanging on, and I'm doing all right, just being a little baby. Yeah, UB Fury, maybe I could take my crew up there. I've been wanting to take like a company trip up there, do a company like week-long fishing trip to bond with my guys and stuff. So maybe we can set something up. All right. Yeah, everyone's been getting hit by this cough. I'm watching you, damn cold. Well, what happened was, right, so basically all these our immune systems haven't been getting the things that they usually get because the last 3 years people have been ultra careful about colds and staying away from people and hand sanitizer and masks, and And then all of a sudden everybody's like, hey, everybody's out back doing stuff again. And so those bugs, I think, are just hitting our immune systems pretty hard. We're not really ready for it. So anyways, I hope that I get some immunity going here. Scott, you're doing some special work in teaching. Thank you, Isaac. Really appreciate your methodology and willingness to test. Only the best test. Yes. I'm looking forward to some more testing stuff coming up. I got some neat ideas of some stuff I'm going to be doing. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy, doing the mock-ups. And I'm also going to be doing some more. One of the reasons I'm messing around with this Ecamm live stream stuff that I'm working on right here is that I'm able to do interviews with other people in the industry. And I just want to bring as much information to you guys as possible. And there's people that are a lot smarter than me. And there's people that are doing testing on their own out there. And they don't have the platform to get that information out, but they reach out to me and they show me their stuff. And I'm like, this is incredible. This is awesome. We need to get this information out. And one example is the white marble thing. We get so many questions about white marble. How do you prevent, and most of it, unfortunately, with the white marble on shower pans is it's too late, right? You get the the phone call 2 months after you've done the install, and there's a stain in the shower pan that won't go away. And people think, well, I just didn't put enough sealer on it, or I didn't, whatever it is, using the wrong sealer, whatever. But actually, that's not the case. And so there's a guy named Pasha who I'm going to be doing one of these live streams with, and Pasha he built 10 different mock-ups using different methods. The traditional method, the WEEP system, he built one with the Curdy system. He's built 10 different ones with different thin sets, different methods. He did one with full epoxy grout. He's done all of these different things. And so here's somebody with all of this wealth of knowledge that would be so beneficial and valuable to our tile community, but he doesn't have the platform to get it out there. And so my hope is starting once I get this live stream stuff dialed in, I want to start doing at least once a month where I bring other experts on here to talk about stuff that actually know more about it than I do. And then I get to learn from them. I learned so much stuff from you guys. And so I'm not too proud to say, here's another expert who's got some good information and share it. I don't need the credit for it. I just want to get the information out to you guys, because that's the worst, man. The white marble thing is just such a drag. I hear it all the time. There's these beautiful tile jobs that people do, and it's just ruined. It's ruined. Once that white marble gets dark like that, you're done, man. There's nothing you can do about it. No amount of sealer is going to fix it. No amount of drying out is not going to fix it. So Pasha, when he did those mock-ups, he found there's basically 2 methods you can do to prevent it. One is to do a traditional weep style system where it's got good weep action. You don't pack your deck mud down too tight. You want as much drainage to be able to go away from the marble as possible. And also he recommended to use unmodified thin set, because the polymers in the modified thin set actually, and I've shown it in my testing, when you use Multimax Light or you use Schluter All-Set, which are 2 very highly modified thin sets, the water doesn't wick. And that's why I like to use it, in between the bands of sheet membrane, because it doesn't wick water. But what happens when you use it on a white marble system and you want it to weep, it blocks the water from weeping down into the deck mud and out the weep holes. So what ends up happening is those dark patches start showing up. So he said, if you do a traditional system, lightly packed deck mud, you don't need to pack your deck mud down with all your might, and then use unmodified thin set. That works very well. And he said, then the other one is, if you want to use a bonded system like Schluter Curdy or Revolutionary Shower Systems, you can do a full epoxy where you use epoxy setting adhesive, epoxy thin set, and then you use a sealer so that you don't, when you grout with the epoxy grout, you don't want to block the pores of the stone with the epoxy grout. So you got to seal it and then grout it with epoxy grout. So epoxy setting adhesive, seal the tile, epoxy grout. He said that also won't have the dark staining of marble. But this is information that nobody else is putting out. Not even the NTCA or TCNA is putting this information out. It's a huge problem in our industry, which is causing, tons of issues where installers are having to rip out completely good new installations because of the white marble. And just because the information's not out there, they don't know. So I'm looking forward to having discussions with other experts in the field, other influencers too, because there's a lot of great, really interesting, creative influencers like on Instagram that I follow that do really cool stuff, like eTile. I like eTile, Tile Bro. There's a few other guys, of course. Sal, I've had Sal on before. Icon Tile and Design, Jamin and Chanel, they're going to be doing one with me. So I'm going to bring on some influencers from different areas that are really creative, interesting people. And so I'm looking forward to that in 2023. That's just kind of a preview of what I'm going to be doing with this. So more of the testing, bringing on more experts, more information. And then I think my videos, one of the directions I want to go with my videos, because things have changed with YouTube. You've probably noticed a little bit with the introduction of the YouTube Shorts. YouTube is having to change its formula a little bit. So we're not getting as many views on our long form videos like our traditional videos. And YouTube wants us to make more shorts. So the shorts is basically like the YouTube TikTok. You guys probably, if you're on YouTube right now, you know what YouTube Shorts are. They're little short 1 minute little videos. And what YouTube is trying to do is trying to get back the market share from that TikTok is taking. So we're making those videos. I think it's going to help make TikTok kind of a thing of the past, a thing for, maybe kids or stuff, and kind of YouTube once again, just kind of be the force it is for, video content. I've shared it many times that I think YouTube is the best place, has the best YouTube content, the most interesting, the most informative. And so that being said, the formula has changed a little bit. We can't just make a long form video. I can't make a 15-minute video once a week and expect that to be enough. I got to make the shorts too, because that's what YouTube really wants to see. So we're making the shorts, and then the long form part of the videos, what I'm going to do, I did a video project. I think I uploaded that in October, sometime in October, but it was the video, I think it was called $20,000 shower they had to pay twice. It was about a couple that bought a flip house, and we, right after they bought it, issues leaking through the ceiling, stuff like that. So we went in and fixed it. But the way I shot that video was almost like I almost shot it like a TV show. I included them in the production of the video. They were part of the whole thing. They were part of the process from the beginning when I was even discussing pricing, the design part of it. It was kind of an all-inclusive video. And I was, that was one of my favorite videos that I ever made. I felt really good about the finished product of it. And, it didn't go crazy on YouTube. I think it's sitting at about 40,000 views, but I got a lot of good feedback. And I know, I was just proud of what I did with it. And so I think I'm going to kind of go in that route where I'm going to make more videos like that, and not as many of them. So I probably won't be uploading every week with content like that, because it takes a ton of time. To produce a video like that was like a month and a half's worth of footage gathering of different points and times, a lot of time lapse, and then also the interview portion that I was doing with the clients themselves, and then all of the editing that went into it. So there's a lot of production work that went into it. And so I'm not going to be doing those all the time, but if I do one of those every couple months, And then I have these live streams with other experts in here. And then I have the testing videos, and then probably mix in just a straight up tutorial with it maybe once a month. And then I like to show new products too, like new gadgets or something. I'll throw that in there too. So that's probably the mix that I'm going to be going for in the next, year or so. And then also mixing in the YouTube shorts, the little videos that just catch people's attention. So Gandalf. Isaac, did you see AVE's funny video where Tyler made him tear out cement board for a German aerospace shower curdy board? Didn't see that. I don't know. Is AVE, is that like a construction channel? I'm not familiar with that one. Nev Seville, hello from Australia. Love your vids. Keep up the great work. Thank you from down under. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it. Again, thank you for being here. The last 20 years, this is an incredible milestone, and I'm so glad that you guys have been here to be a part of it. It's a trip, man. That these things, when these anniversaries come up, it just makes me think, and the journey that I've been on with you guys is just awesome. I couldn't have planned it out any better. I couldn't have diagrammed it more. This whole thing just kind of came together, and I'm just so grateful that you've been a part of it and that we could do this stuff together. And I'm really excited about the future, like moving ahead here. I think we got a lot of good things in store, and I think the next 20 years is going to be even better than the first 20. So excited you'll be here, and look forward to checking in with you on the next live stream. And if I don't talk to you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. I love you. I love being your tile coach, and we'll see you on the next video.